Welcome to Access Chapter 4, Independent Project 4-6. I'm at step 4. I've already downloaded and opened up the file and enabled the contents. And step 4 says create a form using the blank form button. Create blank form. Step 4A, add all the fields from the physicians table in the following order. Doctor ID, so I'm going to double click. First name, last name, primary specialty, office number, move-in date. Step 4B, close the field list. Save the form. Call it Add New Physician. Step 5, edit the form in Layout View. We're in Layout View. And 5A says add 2 rows below the tenant since row. This row is already selected, so I'm just going to go to Arrange, Insert Below, click on that button twice. Add 1 column to the right of the existing columns. So I'm going to click here, get my down pointing arrow to select the row, and click on Insert Right. Adjust the width of each column to 1.6. So I'm going to go to Design View, or I'm sorry, the Design tab, the Property Sheet. My middle row is already selected, and I'm going to change the width to 1.6 and hit Enter. Select the first row, do the same thing. And do the same, I'm sorry, I'm saying rows and I mean columns. There we go. Adjust the height of the last row to 0.4. I'm at step 6 now. Add command buttons, a title, and the date. Step 6A, add a button into the bottom row of the leftmost column to save a record. So that'll be record operations, save a record. Change the wording to save physician record. So I'll click on text. Name the button, add new physician form, save button. Add a second button into the bottom row of the middle column to add a new record. So again, record operations, add new record, text. And step 6E says change the wording to add new physician. Name the button add physician form, add button. And now we're going to add a third button. And we're going to close the form. So it's form operations, close form. Use the text, use the existing text close form. Name the button, add physician form, close button. Click on finish. So now we're up to step 6J, add a title to the form header. Edit the title to include spaces between the words. Add the date to the form. They want us to use this format and not include the time. Enter 1.1 in the width property. Where'd my date go? Okay, you can see my date was hidden behind the property sheet. Enter 1.1 for the width of the date. And enter 4 for spacing from the left of the form. Save. And stop and take a look at your form, and it should look similar to the one on my screen and similar to the one in your instructions. Okay, so now I'm at step 7, restrict the form to data entry. We want the property sheet open for the form. Right now it says auto date. So I need the property sheet for the form. I'll click the down arrow and choose form. Step 7C, select yes in the data entry property. So we want to allow people to enter data. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, got to go to the data tab. Data entry, we'll change that to yes to allow data entry. And if needed, yes in the allow additions row. Save the form. Close the form. So now I'm at step 8, create a report using the report wizard. Add all the fields from the rent invoices table in the following order. Invoice ID, so I'm going to double click. FK, doctor ID, invoice date, description, due date, date received, amount due, and discount. In the next dialog box, they say, do you want to group by the doctor ID? So every doctor will have all this information listed underneath his or her name. And instructions say, yep, accept the settings for that. Go to next. And now here's something new, I think. They want us to add some summary options. So I'll click on the summary options button. And what summary values would you like calculated? We want the sum of the amount dues calculated for each doctor. And make sure that detail and summary is selected. We'll click on OK. Choose a stepped layout. So we'll go to next. and landscape orientation. Deselect the field width so all fields fit on a page. And click the Finish button. The preview of the report should look similar to figure 4-156. Don't worry if not all fields are visible. And so pause the recording if you want to check and see if yours looks right. Step 9A, switch to layout view. And open the property sheet if necessary. Select both the FK Doctor ID label and the text box. So I'm going to press Shift and click and change the width to 0.6. Step 9C, change the width of the invoice label and text box. To 0.75. And the left property should be 1. Okay, now moving on to invoice date. Let's see, width is 1. Left is 1.9. Okay. Then we're at the description label and text box. So the width should be 2.8. And left should be 3. Change the width of the due date label and text box. Looks like I might have to scroll over for that. Width is 1. Left is 6. Change the width of the date received label and text box. Looks like it. There we go. To 1. And left is 7.1. Now we're at H. Change the width of the amount due label and text box to 1. And left is 8.3. Don't worry that you still don't see the entire value. It'll be corrected later. Step I, change the width of the discount label and text box to 0.7. And the left property is 9.4. Edit the title label and the invoice ID and date received labels by inserting a space between rent and invoices. Invoice and ID. date, and received. Step 9K, remove the FK from the FK doctor ID label. And insert a space between doctor and ID. Step 9L, change the width of the text box that displays the sum of the amount due for each doctor. So here's the label. And is that, go down here. To 1, change the width to 1. And change the left property to 8.3. Click to select a summary for FK doctor ID text box and change the width to 6 and the height to 2. Let me scroll over. And change the width to 6 and the height to 2. Point 2. Scroll to the bottom of the report. Change the width of the text box that displays the grand total of the amount due to 1 and change the left property to 8.3. Okay, so here's the label for the grand total, but the text box is over here. Ah, no, it's over here, all the way over here. Okay. So we're changing the width to 1. And the left property to 8.3. This is tedious, isn't it? So let's go to step 9O. Scroll to the lower right corner of the report. To find the text box with the page number, click to select the page number. Change the width to 1 and the left property to 9.4. Save the report. Switch to report view. Okay, so here's our grand total, our sum. Let's see. Take a look at it. Scroll to the top of the report if necessary, and pause the video to make sure it looks like mine or the one on your instructions. We're almost done. Switch back to layout view. And add an oldest to newest sort on the invoice date field. So I'll click on group and sort, add a sort, invoice date, and it says from oldest to newest. That's what we want. So I'll close the grouping dialog box. I'm also going to close the property sheet. I think we're done with that. Step 11, Add conditional formatting to the report so that any discount values that are greater than or equal to 20 display in bold green font. Okay. Format tab, conditional formatting. We've got a new rule, and the rule is hold on a second. Let me click in the discount field. First, click in the discount field, and then we'll go to conditional formatting. Show formatting rules for discount, new rule. So it has to be greater than or equal to 20. And then we want a bold green font. So click on bold. And this is green. Green. Oh, I'm sorry, they want green 5 font. And it is the 7th column, 6th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's green 4. Oh, maybe this one. Green 5. Save your changes. And view in print preview. So anything greater than 20 should be in a green font in the discount field, green bold, and it is. I hope I picked out the right green. Click one page. The report should look similar to mine, similar to the one in your instructions. So pause the video and double check. Close print preview. Okay, I'm going to save one more time just because I'm a little paranoid. I'm going to close the report. Close the database. First, I'll move this over here for you. And we'll upload. Okay, so it worked. Have a good day, everybody.